Hi, folks. It's Bill and Jonathan. Wendy will be with us shortly. And one of the wonderful things about being live is that sometimes live things happen. And
Sometimes you get caught on the phone
she's
with
stuck on the phone with the city, and you know how hard it is to get the city on the phone. So she's not hanging up. Anyway, this whole month we're going to discuss the importance of the numbers when you're investing in real estate. And obviously it's important, but we're going to do a little more deeper dives, all culminating at the end of the month. Actually, the first week, it would actually be the first Wednesday of November with a webinar that Jonathan is going to host. Of course, he didn't know that until I just told him. And
it'll be fun.
He's gonna be putting together some spreadsheets that you guys can get copies of that'll help become a tool in your real estate investing. So a little more after that about that after this. The miracle of live TV. Wendy has just shown up. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on the Real Estate Investor Show. Hard money for real estate investors. We are Carolina Capital Management. We are lenders in the Southeast for real estate investors. If you're interested in borrowing money, go to carolinahardmoney.com. Click on the Apply Now tab. If you're a passive investor looking for passive returns, click on the Accredited Investor tab. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell,
Ding, ding.
and sign up for Wednesdays with Wendy.
Ooh.
Yes, Wendy will rock you with all of her real estate knowledge.
That's the best one.
She
I love it.
There's a link to her calendar right below. She's out till end of November, right? Or December?
First week in December is
So
open.
sign up. She spends 30 minutes with each individual talking about real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Tell all your friends.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tell your friends. Anyway, great to be here. Again, we're going to talk about the numbers, but before we get into any particular numbers, let's do a little breaking news.
Tell us
Do
something
you have
good.
any? Do you have anything breaking? Well, the 30-year interest rates
Starting to go up
at 2.98, which is not bad. Because they
2.9.
were above 3%.
Oh, that's
earlier.
right. So they came down again.
So they
Okay.
came down
I
a
didn't
bit.
know that.
I was going to say I got quoted 2.85 on a 30-year
When?
yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
So they do float around a little bit. Listen.
Shame you're not going to qualify for that loan, Jonathan.
I'll try my best.
As long as rates stay below 5%, you're going to continue to see home prices
That's
go
right.
up. And just anecdotal, I had the folks that run the gym that I go to are moving out of town. They have that house that fits the big hedge funds box,
Mm-hmm.
and they had their home on the market for a whopping week and a half.
So 325, I think, is what you said the price range was.
So, yeah, somewhere in
Yeah.
that range.
Yeah.
And a hedge fund came in and outbid everyone,
In cash.
obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
For how much?
well, I don't know.
Oh.
That
But
wasn't
they said it was
disclosed.
above the asking price. So and they're running like 20% above retail.
Yeah,
That's what
sure.
I'm saying.
So the wholesalers are beating out the retailers.
Mm-hmm.
And on top
When
of that,
in the world would that happen,
I don't
right?
know. On top of that, you don't have to worry about anybody qualifying for a loan because it's all going to be cash.
Yeah.
And I would do the same thing. I'd sell as well to a hedge fund. Now,
I gave that advice to a guy at the subgroup meeting last night.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate giving that advice because
Yeah.
it's like, perpetuating, in my opinion, I guess, a piece of the problem.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
like, if that's what's best for you, then that's what's
That's
best for
right.
you.
That's right.
Here's the thing. There is a box. There's a buying box for these folks.
I was going to say there's a box. I thought you were going to go
And-
like Schrodinger's cat.
I packed that shirt, by the way.
Did you? Good
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
A Cat in the Box by
Yeah.
D.R. Schrodinger.
It's maybe we can make a real estate pun or something with it. It's like, the house is the box, and it's both worth, $1 million
It
and
can be
200,000 at the same time,
it can
depending
be-
on the hedge
that's right.
fund that comes in.
It can be in 2 states at the same time, not actual states of the country, but
States of opinion.
yeah.
Or matter.
Yeah.
States don't matter.
So what was I talking about? All right.
Who
So my
knows?
wife pointed out to me, she goes, this is not really fair that first time home buyers are getting pushed out of the market because they
For sure.
can't compete.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's not necessarily the case.
Okay.
What we need to do and what your real estate agents and brokers should be doing is figuring out what the buy box is for the hedge funds. And then the people that are trying to buy homes with loans, VA loans take you forever to get stuff
Yeah,
done.
That's true.
FHA, the same thing.
Mhm, mhm.
And it's not their fault. That's just the way the programs work.
Right.
They need to be finding homes that do not fit that box, and now they're not competing with them.
Yeah, but
The hard thing is, how do you do that?
you're being pushed. You're being basically forced out. You're saying if you want to live in and around the city, you have to pay rent. If you want to own a home, you have to go further out
Yeah.
because those homes are not in the buy
That's
box.
what's happening.
So it's still not fair.
That's right.
Life is not fair.
I get what you're saying, but if you want to own
Everybody
a
in
home,
third grade gets a ribbon.
If you want if you want to have an edge on getting a house, then this is where you need to be buying,
Yeah.
or this is the age of the home you need to be buying, or
But
this is the area you need to be buying in.
but to quote you, Bill, you said if you don't like options, do nothing. When we're talking about the IRA stuff,
He'll
So-
always use your words
so
against you.
in the same thing, options are being taken away from you, and you're saying, okay, it's just part of the game.
No, here's
I don't
the
like that.
difference.
It is part of the
And
game,
here's the difference.
but we don't like it.
Market forces are causing this. It's not a government mandate that says you can't do this. You can still compete with those folks if
It's
you want
actually
to.
it's market forces coupled with government mandates that created this.
I wonder if
So
we'll
it's-
add that to
it's-
the bill they're
It's
trying
it's
to.
people who
Are we
who's-
still in breaking news?
Yeah.
mode?
well we have all these
Good point.
mom and pop owners who own properties in and around the city
Mm-hmm.
Right.
who are not receiving rents, who with the moratorium, and they are forced to sell, and they sold to the highest bidder, which is the hedge fund,
Mhm.
and then basically blocking out any other first-time home buyers to come in and buy these 2-bedroom, 1-bath houses that normally would have went to sale and picked up by a first-time home
Yeah.
buyer,
Yeah.
but they weren't because now the hedge funds have come in. So it's two forces coming together in synchronicity that feels
I'm not arguing.
planned.
Yeah. That is kind of, we've
Yeah.
got some conspiracy theory going on over
I
here.
don't know. I just
While we're on that subject,
rant for a bit.
they had a
lot of people that would agree with you.
non-binding vote in Berlin. It was whatever they do out there in California when they don't like something, they do some sort of referendum.
Oh, there we go. Dog in California.
Oh, God. No.
Poor California can't
So,
win on our show.
This was the German version of Prop 42 or whatever number you want to put in there.
42.
So they had a non-binding referendum that the people voted on that are going to take apartment buildings inside of the city of Berlin that are owned by large real estate companies, and they're going to give them to the city so they can take care of their affordable housing problem.
How messed
So
up
they're going
is
to
that?
take it from them and then rent them out at affordable
Eminent
prices.
domain.
Now, again, it's non-binding, so it doesn't happen, but that's what they're thinking there now, because inside the city, that's where all the expensive apartments are. Rent's gone up 13% in the last year.
Mm.
And so, anyway, that's what's on people's minds.
Yeah. So what do you think? You've made enough money on that house. You need to give it to me now.
Exactly.
right.
Scott says, what does Jonathan think of UFOs?
UFOs. I love that.
I think that they're actually called UAPs now, not UFOs. So it's a
What does it
unidentified
stand for?
aerial phenomenon.
Not to be confused with the
A phenomenon.
unidentified submersible vehicle. So that would be in the water.
Yeah.
What else did happen today? I think unemployment, I've been going over those numbers every week. They're pretty much staying the same.
Mm.
I'm still blown away by the perfect oxymoron that we're experiencing, which is very low labor available and very high unemployment.
Labor participation.
Yeah.
Labor participation,
I
yeah.
just, I don't get it. It's just, it, doesn't make sense. It
Well, one
absolutely
thing-
doesn't make sense.
You might want to think about is that maybe there's a lot of people that prefer not to be in industries that they used to be in, and that's why you're not seeing.
But they're not working. What? So then you would imagine.
Maybe they're in school retraining. That's why they're not working.
Well, that's a lot of people to be in school.
I'm just
I don't
saying,
hear schools busting at the seams.
When
You know?
2008 happened, a lot of people got out of the construction business.
Well, it's not just construction. It's every.
No. I
Every.
realize that you're going to have a lot less people in hospitality and travel and that type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was talking to a buddy yesterday, and he was going through Phoenix Airport, and I think it's Terminal E, which was the same one I was at when I was there last month. There's one restaurant open, and it's understaffed.
They're all understaffed.
And here's the
it's
thing.
insane.
Well, I think he was talking to some of the waitresses there, and it's like, so what's going on? And they're like, they won't hire anyone because they say that we're not busy enough. Like the airport's not busy enough to warrant bringing more people back.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
not
like,
true.
He looked around. He's like, I waited 45 minutes to sit down here.
Yeah,
This place is like bustling.
Yeah.
What do you mean there's not enough business?
yeah.
So it's like, I wonder if there's a piece of it's like using COVID as an excuse to bolster short-term profits for companies.
Yeah,
that's
gosh, people wouldn't do that, would they?
no, they wouldn't.
Well, I mean, travel is down because they're not getting the business travelers. So
travel is down from pandemic. Yeah,
you're not getting the
But it's
business
way
travelers.
up from what it was.
it's higher than it has been in the last year and a half.
I get that, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of business travelers that aren't traveling nearly as much as they used to.
Well,
so
we
what
fall into
happens
that
is,
category.
yeah, but what happens is you have certain peak hours where the restaurants are full, the airports are full, and then there are certain hours where it's empty.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get that. I haven't been on an airplane yet that wasn't full.
Again, anecdotal.
Mm-hmm.
I flew in on a Saturday.
He likes that word. He's used it twice.
Stop it. I flew in again on anecdotal because
He meant
it's
anecdotal.
not a survey amongst all the airports. It's just
His opinion.
my particular experience.
Yeah.
When I fly into Charlotte on a Sunday, the place is packed. You can hardly move in there.
Yeah, I hate
And
flying.
I flew in on a Saturday afternoon, and it was really light. There was hardly anybody in there. So you're going to have those times when the places are packed, and you're going to have times where it's kind of light. So I see what you're talking about. And I doubt the rent for the airport facilities are any cheaper than they were before the pandemic.
Yeah, that's true.
Anecdotally lacks, it doesn't lack, but foregoes logic. It's like saying there are no brown squirrels
Yeah.
because I haven't seen a brown squirrel today.
Well, that could be the case. Because show me the
Brown squirrel.
But logically, all you could say is not all squirrels are brown, even though all the squirrels you've ever seen are brown.
I thought you were going to say not
Ours
all
are
brown
gray.
squirrels are brown.
Yeah.
The
Anyway.
black squirrels up north are kind of cool.
Anyway,
So what were
Sorry.
we talking about?
It's supposed to be real estate.
yeah, I was sorry. I was like a deep dive into like IRR, XIR, so my brain is very analytical.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
you're talking about numbers.
Yeah,
What did you ready to go on that?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about basic numbers for a fix and flip right now. We're not going to dive deep. We're just going to skim over.
Mhm.
We throughout the rest of the month, we are going to be doing some deep dives on single family, note purchases, self-storage, and then multifamily, and then we'll also do some similar stuff on funds as well.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's talk about a fix and flip. What's the first thing that you need to look at when you're purchasing a home for a fix and flip? Fix and flip.
The purchase price.
How deep do you want to be in the property all in?
All
You're
in?
buying, yeah.
Like,
Based on the
all-
after repair value.
So your purchase price, your rehab, and all the other costs of capital that are associated with it, you probably never really want to be in more than 75% of the after repair value.
Sorry. I know. No.
Well, let's stick with what
And
we're
live
saying.
TV. So, based on our loans that
Yeah.
we do, wouldn't you say that you wouldn't want to be more
As a-
instantly than 70%?
As a lender, I don't want to be more than 70%.
Right.
I'm saying as the investor, you don't want to be more than 75% ever, typically.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if it's a rental property.
Yeah, and when I say 75, I'm including the cost of capital in that number.
Yeah.
Because the lender is in at a principal amount who's receiving the interest. The borrower or the investor is in at that principal amount plus their down payment plus the payments that they're making over the life of the loan.
Most people don't include that in their 75%.
You should.
Most people don't include the finance cost, even though it's real.
You should.
They
Because when
don't do
when you
it.
get the money back, you should be running a net, or not when you get it back, before you get it back, you should be running a net sheet saying, here's all the money I spent, here's all the money I made. Basically, it's a ROI, it's a return on your investment.
Mhm.
What did I spend? What did I get back? And that gives you a basic number. And then you say, okay, well, that number is positive. That's great. Well, how do I apply that or quantify that to the investment that I made? And that is where you get into internal rate of returns and XIRRs, which is internal rate of return tells you how fast you're going to get your money back out of a deal. IRR tells you the actual yield you're going to make because it takes the time factor in and says, okay, you had X money in at this time and this time, you made X amount of money out at this time and this time, here's your return.
Right.
Did I mention Jonathan is going to do a webinar the
Yeah.
first Wednesday of November
Yeah.
and provide you with sheets that can help you with those numbers?
Yeah, it'll be good. That'll be really good. A lot of people don't understand the importance of time, the value of time when you're in an investment.
Well, it's the whole thing is like if you use the wrong metrics to measure things. So if you're using IRR to measure
Which stands for
internal rate of return, if you're using that to measure how like to measure a deal's value, and you say, okay, if we buy a note and we buy the note for $100,000 and you make 10% on that note and you have it for 4 years and then the note pays off. So you've made $40,000 plus your $100,000 you got back. If you run an IRR, that IRR number comes out to 24 and some change percent, 24%. Well, any halfway smart person can realize my note was 10%. How the hell did I make 24? Because IRR doesn't tell you your yield. It just tells you what is the rate of discount to when you get your money back and your initial investment back. And that's 24%. And that's how it quantifies that number. If you actually want to know the return, you would use XIRR. It would take how much you spent, how much you made, and over what time period.
That's the
and then it would tell
important
you.
part.
And that same number would give you a 9.99% yield. Not quite 10 because there are over a 4-year span, there's an irregular payment of there's a leap year and there's something else that causes you to lose just a small
A
piece of your yield.
smidgen
I
of
hate
what you're trying
when
to
those
do.
leap years.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he doesn't walk around with this number, just popping out in his head. He's actually been working on something that.
Yep, been working on it.
So he's smart, but he's not like a complete genius.
No, not savant. So, but yeah, so that's how you have to look at it. You have to know how, what are the right tools to measure, and then those things tell you the yield. They tell you how fast you can get your return back, and you can use that to measure. Do I want to do this deal or this deal?
Right.
My IRR tells me that this one's 54%, this one's 28%. Well, 54 means I'm going to get my money back sooner
Right.
than the 24.
Right.
So maybe I like that deal better.
Right.
And then you use XIR to say, well, which one's going to yield me the most? And then use your common sense and your experience to say, which one carries more risk?
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that people really don't take into account is the risk that they're getting into and the effort.
Yeah. Return on effort. Bill says it all the time.
Yeah.
That's because I'm lazy. I'm always measuring effort.
But the risk is important. I mean, we're hard money lenders, short-term lenders. We like short-term because the risk is lower in a short term than it is long-term.
And your IRR is higher.
That's right. That's
So-
If
exactly
you
right.
get the money back.
That's
So let's
Then there's
talk about current market contingencies. So typically it's what, 10 to 15% that you would add to your rehab budget for stuff that goes wrong.
Most people are doing
unexpected.
5 to 10.
Yeah.
Most people are doing 5
Yeah.
to 10 right now.
15's a
Now,
little high.
now because of inflation that's hitting everything, the fact that it's taking longer to get anything done, would it make sense to go to 15% of a contingency?
It would if you've got the room for it.
Yeah, if you like, if you're bumping up against that 70 or 75 with a 10% contingency, I mean,
That's,
I'd keep it there.
yeah,
But-
that's pushing
But
it.
at the same time, values continue to go up. So the
Sure.
longer it takes you to finish it, the more it's going to be worth.
At this point.
Yes, I know.
At this point.
That's why I said in this current
Yeah.
market,
Yeah.
because markets always change.
Yeah. Could
Today.
be different tomorrow.
Yeah, today that is a true statement.
Yeah. Yeah, this market is great right now. It covers up a lot of mistakes.
It sure does.
But there are always going to be times where things change.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to be holding the short end of the stick,
Mhm.
as it were.
That's
I mean,
right.
and you talked about the contingencies. I mean, we say 5 to 10%. That's pretty normal. I mean, Wendy, you did a deal where your contingency should have been 100%, right?
Mhm.
I just did a deal where my contingency should have been 30%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we say that 5 to 10 is normal, and for the most part that will cover it, but there are times where it exceeds
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And the market covers it. So
Mhm.
Sue Jensen said something. Hey, Sue.
Yeah, and she's trying to make Jonathan's head bigger.
That's
Definitely want to
fascinating.
understand more about the IRR. And Sue's a perfect person to learn this.
She
'Cause
said,
Sue tried to retire and she flunked.
That's right.
Retiring. So
well, it's no different from you. Your major was in nonprofits. You keep making profit.
Thank God. But Sue is a lender, and Sue really gets into her numbers. She really she figures out what she's making, whether it's in a fund or an individual loan or whatever it is she's doing. And I think the time value would mean a lot to Sue learning that part of it. So,
Yeah, absolutely. No, we'll definitely cover XIR, IRR, ROI. We'll cover all the things we were talking about this morning: weighted average coupon, weighted average cost of capital, and a few other acronyms.
all the words that make me go,
Am I making money or not?
yeah, I'm glad I have people that understand that. I don't have to.
So in the chat, and I'm sorry, I know it's the end of the show and I forgot to mention, we have a chat.
Yeah, the Wise Women Expo.
So yes, let's talk about the Wise Women Expo that Wendy is a speaker in. She's going to be talking about short-term rentals, correct?
Mm-hmm. And there's just incredible people in that lineup. And I know Mary Hart is one of them. I have to get a list of the rest of them. Tracy Ruri. I get
Ruri?
her. Yeah, thank you very much. My lips get messed up when I say her
They
name.
put on, isn't it?
They're the ones that put it on, her and Fred, but Tracy's a speaker too. She's excellent. But it's really, really good. It's over 2 days. It's all virtual. You can, when you pay to watch it, you can watch it live. They're all pre-recorded presentations. And then you can also, then you can also
Look, it's counting
just
down
get
as
the
we
recording
speak.
as
We
well.
better sign up
So,
now.
yeah, it's worth it. It's really good. Everybody that does this, and more than 50% of them are males too. So you don't have to be a chick to sign up. It's good. It's good.
So, but the speakers are all women.
There you go. There's a speaker. So Tracy's on there. Haley Gant with Quest. She's really good. Good information about self-directed IRAs. So yeah, they're highlighting me, and I thank you for that.
Yep.
And there's
And,
Mary
Mary
and
Hart.
Liz.
Yeah.
Yep. Good folks. Darlene Root, she's good. She was in our mastermind for Collective Genius for a while.
Oh, nice.
And who else was on there that I was thinking? Let's see. Haley.
It's a great lineup.
Liz Faircloth. That's who I was trying to
That's
think
what I
of.
just said.
Yeah, you said her name. That's right. Liz is really sharp. And
They're all sharp.
yeah, and she has a company called investher.com. And it's a really good podcast group of just a great way to learn.
More
Good
powerful
folks.
women in real estate.
Yes, they are. That's what
Yes.
we need.
We do need more women in this field. because I'm getting tired of talking to all the guys.
Lots of
Yeah.
good stuff.
You know, Wendy, from
That's
Wednesday
awesome.
with Wendy, there are no secrets that Wendy keeps. She reveals all her secrets all the time.
And then I have to kill you after I tell you about them. They're so important.
So again, we're going to do a deep dive into the numbers this whole entire month. We're going to pick out different property types
Mhm.
throughout the month. We're going to do notes. We're going to do commercial properties. We're going to do single family properties.
It'll be good.
And, you guys,
It'll be
make
geeky
sure you stay tuned for the rest of the month. We are going to wrap it up. Okay, you
Since we're out of time.
Yeah,
No.
pretty much.
I thought that's what
Thank
you were
you.
doing.
You're doing great, Bill.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Real Estate Investor Show. We are Carolina Hard Money. What do we do? No, we're Carolina Capital Management.
We are
That's
Carolina
right.
Capital
We
Management.
are lenders in the Southeast for real estate
Written.
investors. And shut up. If you're interested in borrowing money, go to carolinahardmoney.com and click on the Apply Now tab. If you're a passive investor looking for passive returns, click on the Accredited Investor tab. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and sign up for Wednesdays with Wendy. We'll see you on the next show. Have a great day.